Hi, I'm Patrick, and I'm here at Hydra Comic Con. This is a comic convention that was organized by the creators of Kraken Con, which I've reported on umpteen times. That's based in Oakland. It's more of a anime cartoon convention. This is more of a comic convention. It's a very gray area for the overlap, but this is a comic convention. This also isn't in East Bay. This is in South Bay. This is in Santa Clara, California, at the Santa Clara Convention Center. It's right across the street from Levi Stadium, where the San Francisco 49ers play, which also isn't in San Francisco, but that's for sports people to worry about. This is Hydra Comic Con's first year. Kraken Con used to run twice a year. There'd be a spring and a fall. Instead of their spring event, they decided to hold Hydra down here in the spring, and they're still going to do Kraken Con in the fall. It's at the end of September. And so this is their first South Bay attempt. Now, the South Bay also has Silicon Valley Comic Con, Fanime, and there's more events down here. There's established events, but I don't know if this Santa Clara Convention Center is cursed, because this is the home of Japan Expo. I was here for that in 2013. You can see my report on AnimeCons TV back then, 4 years ago. It was in August. And that event was run, let me refresh your memory, it was run by a French company that does huge conventions in France. So they tried it in the US, and they anticipated a ton of people. Not that many showed up. And this fall, I think it's right around Labor Day, like the weekend before or something, is Crunchyroll Expo. They're in the same facility, and Crunchyroll is anticipating a huge crowd. I mean, it's Crunchyroll, except they haven't promoted any guests as of this taping, and there's still a lot of details up in the air, so a lot of people are saying, like, I don't know. From what I've been seeing online, people are not sure if they're going to attend, because there have been very few announcements. And there's people wondering, like, should I get an artist alley table? Should I be a dealer? I don't know. And that's in the same facility. So HydraCon, it could have had more attendees, that's for sure. They had about half the convention center space. There's 4 halls, and they had 2 of them, and there was a lot of room. That you never had a problem getting up to any vendors. You never had a problem getting a seat at an event, and you never had to fight crowds anywhere for anything. And so that has advantages and disadvantages. I mean, if you don't like crowds, this is great. But if you like the mass swarming of an event, you won't find that here. The event itself, it ran Saturday and Sunday, 2 days, and there were definitely more people on Saturday. That's the day that they had the costume contest, and they ran a couple hours later. It was 10 to 7 p.m. on Saturday, and it's 10 to 5 p.m. on Friday. And so I think if people came one day, they came Saturday, and Sunday it's a lot slower. So what to say about this? Some of the events they had, there's a dealer's room, of course, and the artist alley is in there. There's a great number of guests. They've got Keith Silverstein, Rob Paulson, Catherine Tabor, Tone Rodriguez, Svetlana Shmakova, you may know from our podcast, and they've got Overwatch, Star Wars, and people associated with all sorts of franchises. So the guest list is great. And I was watching their guest announcements on Facebook, and they'd done a few, and I thought, oh, okay, that's a good lineup. And then there'd be another one, and then there'd be another one. I was like, well, they're still adding, and there's more and more. So the guest lineup was great, and overall the event was great, because these people have experience from running Kraken Con, and you've heard me praise Kraken Con to no end. And so this is like a comic-focused, or pop culture-focused Kraken Con. The only difference is that there were not too many people here. Let's see, the other stuff they had, there was the costume contest, which was on Saturday night. I recorded the entire thing, and you can find that in our extras feed or on our website under AnimeCons TV and extras, and find it on YouTube. We've posted the entire thing. It started a little bit late, but it ended right on time. And like with the Kraken Con costume contest, you didn't have to wait for the judges to go and deliberate. It was prejudged. So you see the presentation of all the costumes, which very good job presenting them all. There's some amazing costumes. And then after the presentation, the judges just came out and gave the awards. And so it was a nice, quick, boom, 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 done, really well run event. I did a game show on Saturday morning for trivia, and I'd done the same game show at Anime Boston, but when I arrived, there wasn't much of a crowd because it was early, and so I quickly adapted the rules, and we just had fun doing trivia, and a little more than a dozen people were there, and but they've got their main events room is a ballroom that has smaller panels. Then there are 3 panel rooms upstairs in the convention center. You go up the escalators and you can find people doing panels on cosplay and comics and costuming and all sorts of fan things and great content. Let's see, they had in the dealer's room, there was a lot of other stuff around the edge. You had some costumers, there was the Jurassic Park Jeep, they had card gaming area, video tournaments, they had rock band, there was a rock climbing wall, so you could actually climb up to the ceiling of the convention center and do rock climbing and try that out. There was an obstacle course that took up one end of the exhibit space. That was something I've never seen before, and it was huge, and the kids loved it. There was a drawing area where they had people posing, and artists could come and try their hand at drawing. Card gaming tournaments, video game tournaments. There was a craft area, and at one point I saw they were doing superhero masks. And so different times of the day they had different activities for kids. There was a theater that was showing cartoons and anime. There was a photo area, so if you wanted your photo taken in costume, you could get that done. Some of the guests had free autographs, some had pay autographs, but they were all reasonably priced. And let's see, what else did they have? I'm forgetting something. But yeah, there's a lot of good events. And you know, I've seen this before where it's a really good event, but just nobody shows up. And could be any number of reasons for that. Back at Kraken Con, I was starting to think it was reminding me of Providence Anime Conference. That was a situation where a fairly well-known convention decided to spin off another convention an hour south, and nobody came. And that's kind of what happened here. Providence Anime Conference was an excellent convention, no complaints, and I mean, even at the feedback panel, we asked people, what would you like to see change? They're like, oh, we just want more people. This was great. Everybody loved it, but you know, nobody went, so it didn't happen again. I would love to see Hydra happen again because this was a great convention. And hopefully they'll give it another chance. Now, the facility here, it's a great facility. One change I'd love to see is have the convention moved to the front 2 exhibit halls, because some people came in and there are no signs out front. You're like, where's the convention? And I heard several people mention this. They thought like, oh, was it canceled? Because you have to walk down the hall and around to the back. And I have video, which I'll show right now, which shows the walk from the parking garage all the way down the escalator through the halls to the registration area. And it's a long walk, but there's no sign. Not a single sign I saw for Hydra Con the entire way. There was a sign that the convention center had up that just said Comic Con, but you had to read the event listing on their screen, and there were a couple other events in here, but they were pretty small. The front 2 exhibit halls were not taken at all, so if the convention could have moved to those front 2 exhibit halls. I think it would have been better. I don't know the facility contract, if it would have cost more, but they were the same size. So I think the front 2 would be better. And then, the facility is right near Levi Stadium, so it's easy to get to. There's public transportation. There's a train that stops right out front. It's also right across the street from Six Flags Great America. I'm looking at roller coasters right now. And the parking lot is literally right there. So you walk across that parking lot, you're in a theme park. And so there's plenty to do in the area. There's not plenty to eat in the area. They have fairly limited options. There is a concession stand in the event hall, but you're not going to find a whole bunch of restaurants in the area. There's a couple across the street. There's a hotel restaurant at the Hyatt, which is really expensive. So, if you're coming for the day, it's probably not a problem. You just eat at the concession stand and be done with it. If you're coming for the weekend, on Saturday it stops at 7 p.m. so you could just get in your car and go. And you don't have to worry about parking because there's a parking garage out back and it was free parking. So that's great. No expensive fees like you might get at some of like Fanime or something, where you've got to find a parking spot downtown in a parking garage. I had that problem at Silicon Valley Comic Con. Everything was filled up because that was not only for the convention, but it was the same day as the Science March. And so good luck finding parking. Here, parking was not an issue and no complaints there. A lot of people parked on the roof because, there's a bridge that goes right to the convention center. It's 100 degrees outside right now. Fortunately, it's air conditioned in here, but I was not parking in the sun in 100 degrees because the inside of the car would have melted. So I parked down below in the shade, thinking. So all in all, I had a good time at Hydra Comic Con. I hope if you went, you had a good time. I would love to hear from you. Write to us, podcast at AnimeCons.tv, or call us at our voicemail line at 762-ADEQUATE. That's 762-233-7828. Let us know what you thought of Hydra Comic Con. And if you weren't here and if they have it again, please come. It was a great convention. You'll enjoy it. Trust me on this. And I hope to see everybody here at Kraken Con back in Oakland at the end of September. I know I'll be there. I wouldn't miss it. Also, this is the second in our marathon of con reports. Last week, Doug did Anime Next. Next week, I am doing PortCon Maine. And then the week after that, I'm doing Nerdtacular. And then Elizabeth's got conventions, and Doug's got conventions. We've got conventions reports, one after the other, for something like 3 months. There's a huge number of con reports we're doing, so don't miss an episode. Subscribe to AnimeCons TV. You can find us if you're watching on YouTube, you know where the subscribe button is. Use it. If you're on iTunes, subscribe there. Wherever you get your podcast, make sure you subscribe because you don't want to miss a con report. Even if you're not near the con, it's really fun to listen to reports on the other side of the country and elsewhere to see what they're like. And maybe you can get some ideas for your convention. And we hope that this content is entertaining. And go watch the costume contest. Even if you quit before you get to the awards, you don't care who wins, but the winners, man. Check out the costume contest if you weren't here, or if you were here and you want to see yourself, go watch our extras feed. Subscribe to our extras feed too on podcasts, and check that out. It's a lot of fun. There's a plane going overhead. I don't know if you can hear that. We're not too far from the San Jose airport if you want to come in next time. And so I'm Patrick for AnimeCons TV, and thanks for watching. And don't forget to get our Apple TV app in the App Store. We also have AnimeCons.com stickers in the App Store now. If you use iOS, you can use these in iMessage and drag little stickers up into your messages. It's really cool and it's free. So get that now in the iOS App Store. Thanks for watching. Bye.